Well, it's 1st of September and Toy and Train Fair after a bit of a break. I think they have August off because there's nothing on the calendar. So we've, I thought there might be a few eager, but there was quite a few missing stands where people haven't turned up. But nevertheless, I managed to root out a few bits and pieces. So we've got an LMS. I know I'm modelling Northeastern, but these did creep into our network, and let's face it, the Great Western ones are no good because they're lower quadrant. So we've got three of the little 16-ton mineral wagons that were repurposed as for the engineering department. They cost me £17. Then a couple of other stall holders. The guy had some auto racks. Most of them, these are the kit ones. There's bits missing. I bought this one. Unfortunately, one panel's missing with the Norfolk and Southern emblem on it. But we have got it on the other side. So I thought, well, I'll have it for spares for mine. I can use the wheel trucks. And some other bits might come in useful. And obviously I can nick the side panel with the Norfolk and Southern logo on it. But unfortunately, I haven't got one this side. There was a guy selling a bunch of these little panels off the kits. Unfortunately, they've gone now, so there's detail parts are missing, like the air reservoir and the couplings. But yeah, it was just a parts bin one. So that was 10 quid, I think. And the Royal Mail van, they've been a bit thin on the ground, so I picked one of those up, 5 quid. Well, bit of a vehicle theme today. It wasn't much in the way of rolling stock I need or wanted. You know, there was a few bits I could have had, but don't really need them. So I abstained. And some I just weren't paying the prices for. So we've got a stall holder. He does lots and lots of die cast, Oxford and Corgi and stuff. And he's got boxes and boxes. Does 5 for 20 quid. So I rummaged around and got a couple more of the British Rail maintenance vehicles. They're usually £8. I've seen some £15 on eBay and they're second hand. An old Volkswagen Type 4 bus, because I used to have one, but could do with another one now to replace this old Hi-Ace, but they're stupid money as well. A World War II vehicle, which can go with the war wells and the tanks and things, and an old Type 2 Volkswagen bus, which, hey presto, I also used to have one of those. So we bought that lot 20 quid, and he was doing Oxford 187 scale, 3 for a tenner. So I bought these 3 to go with those other ones I've got. So there's like a custom car meet up in the car park of a diner or something. So we've got a 1955 Buick Century. That's a Mustang, I'm guessing. It was a 65 Mustang. And the one that fell on the floor is a Mercury Turnpike. So that's it. Time for some painkillers, a Mackie D's, because there's no Burger Kings around here, and a cup of coffee. Well, it's an Aliexpress, but I think the bloke dropped it in the puddle by the looks of it. Luckily it's fully sealed, unlike the other ones. And this should be, I think, a little very squashed box. Oh no, it's my soldering. I've got a spare one. I figured it would be small for the price. But it does the job, it does the job. So this is a tip cleaner. That comes at the bottom like that. You've got your little brass or copper pan scourer, because that's basically all they are. And these do clean your tips better than a sponge, and sponges, well, when I was in the industry they were then coming away from using sponges because of the wet sponge corrodes the tip faster and it puts stress on the iron, because obviously you've got a hot iron, you're sticking it in a damp cloth, it cools down and then heats back up. Probably for the average DIY that wouldn't be an issue, but when you're using irons all day long, that can be, when you have to keep changing heating elements and tips and things. Got in this little box. Ah, smaller than I thought. This was 13 quid. It's one of those little mini Wi-Fi cameras. I just bought it as an experiment for obviously on-train camera or taking it to bits. Possibly. It looks like obviously there's a Q code for an app. I know there was a smaller one. It's so small it doesn't actually contain a battery, you have to use an external power supply, which defeats the object of having a small camera. Although the advantage is obviously it'll last longer if you got it on a power bank, so we'll have a look at that in a little while. I'm not expecting great things for the money, but you never know, sometimes you hit lucky with these things and sometimes you don't. Somewhere in here should be my thread adapter, so that should hopefully screw in the bottom of my Blue Yeti and then adapt it to a normal sort of camera 3/8 mount. And staying on a microphone theme, I did get a windshield top thing. I had one of these years ago when I had what would you call it, a broadcast mic, for when we were transmitting on the radio. Well, it was a new shiny box. I just took my label off. So, it's a new Accurascale Class 37. In a more proportionately sized box than some of them have turned up in the past. I got a notification yesterday that it was going to DPD and therefore would be in the system shortly. So I eagerly checked on the Accurascale website, which their page thing is a bit of a mess, quite frankly. According to the tracking that they were showing on their link, it was in Germany. But the DPD email said that it was on its way to Peterborough, and my usual delivery chappie, Ronaldo, he doesn't play football I don't think, would be delivering it between 11:30 and 12:30, and it's 12:03. So now we have the new style packaging. Hopefully it is the correct model. The blue orange Cantrail 37140 as stabled at March Yard for some of its life, which is the reason I bought it. Now we have to wait to break the vacuum of the box. Slowly. Here we go. And the usual bit of gumph. Decoder list. I don't know whether they've changed the wiring on the speakers now so that they don't cut out. And will it have any bits floating around? Will the windows be intact? I've not had a lot of luck so far. There's me. Something. Oh, that's the hooks. Had me worried for a minute there, so everything's there that should be there. So we have the little Cockney Sparrow and the little logo there, and then this unusual orange cant rail, pinstriping, call it what you will. And the other ones I did have a little bit bother with those sand pipes catching. One of them's a bit bent here. I think they either pop them inwards or give them a bit of a trim. So far so good out of the box. So the time you see this, I will have probably already done a live or a pre-recorded, because there's a few locos I've got to test and make sure they're all okay. So you may have seen it already.